Welcome back to the channel for another video on our 05 STI. So this week we were supposed to go on a drive after we finished everything as far as the rear suspension goes. We were supposed to go on a drive, but when I went to go make this video and go on the drive, we actually had an oil leak and there was quite a bit of oil under the car. I mean, not like a ton, but I mean enough for me to not want to drive the car. And as you can see, we are missing one of our intercooler pipes now because I just dove right into it and diagnosed it. But anyways, let me show you what's going on. We're going to get that fixed in this video. I'll show you a little mod that I did in the meantime, and then we will go on our drive, finally, after getting everything done on the car. But let me show you what's going on. All right, so over here in the engine bay, you can see we have the intake pipe, or sorry, the intercooler pipe that comes right off the turbo. It comes up and goes down over here. That one is removed, and I had to take one of our breather hoses off to get to our issue. So over here we have that pipe, and here we have our main issue. So previously, when I purchased this car, it had some gauges in it. I ended up removing the gauges, but I left this sensor in. Oh, and there was the little O-ring, might need that. And this was the culprit. So it actually wasn't leaking here on the threads that go into the block. It was leaking here where the sensor threads into this adapter, which is just a pretty standard adapter. But after I took it apart, there's no thread sealant tape or anything on this sensor. So what I did was just buy a OEM galley plug. It is right over here in my pocket. Just got it out of the mail. But yeah, we're just going to throw this plug in. So if you look back here, got a rag covering it. We just got a hole right there on the top of the block, and this should thread right in. We'll torque it down to spec. I'll put a little bit of sealant on it, not much because it has just a little bit of, looks like it already comes with some stuff on it. I'll put that O-ring on and a little bit of sealant, just make sure that thing is all sealed up. We will not have an oil leak on this car again. So enough talking, let's get our oil leak fixed and then we'll go on our drive. All right, so the plug is installed. Let me show you guys. It might be a little bit easier to see now that there's a shiny new plug, but that's where the oil was coming from. So it was leaking out, dripping down the back of the block, and just leaking onto the floor. So I backed the car out, and I noticed a huge pool of oil, and instantly drove it back in, started diagnosing, and of course found where the issue was, and just started taking it apart just to like make sure that was the leak, and of course that's what it was. So everything is all wrapped up as far as getting that oil leak fixed. We'll get the pipe put back on. We'll rerun our, I got it linked over here. We will rerun our breather hose that goes to this head over here, and we should be good to go to drive. I do want to show you the one other mod that I did. I'm not going to make a whole video on it. So I did the JDM taillight mod. I'll show you guys how to do that, and I'll show you guys what that looks like before we go on our little drive. But let's get this engine bay wrapped up. We'll get the car back together, and we will start it to make sure that there's no leak, and we'll continue on. Another thing to note before we put the car back together, this is the elbow that comes right off the turbo, and it is bone dry, and the turbo is dry as well. So that leaves me to believe that the engine is very healthy. There is very to little blow by. Obviously we have the IG AOS, so that is helping a lot as well, but there is no oil in any of our intercooler pipes, so that is amazing. Last thing too, I should have had it on the screen, but the plug that we put in, it's 18.1 foot-pounds. We torqued it down and we're all set. So let's get this car put back together. so she is all back together now. Intercooler pipe is on. We got the hose routed in its correct path underneath that mess. So let's get our first start in. I'll walk over here and I'll check it out to see if it's leaking, but we should be good to go. After we confirm it's not leaking, we'll go behind the car and I'll explain the JDM taillight mod. So we're behind the car. It sounds so these cold starts with this HKS catback, and we do have a catted downpipe, but this HKS catback, I really think it's the best sounding exhaust that I've ever had on one of these GDs, and I've had a handful of them. This is definitely a keeper though, because we are going to be getting this painted. But as we're talking, you can see our taillights here. We only have the centers on each side turned on, and that is what the JDM taillight mod is. So with the JDM taillight mod, just the inners are on all the time, and when you step on the brakes, both of the outers turn on and our third brake light. So that's basically what this mod is. I will step on the brakes and I will show you what that looks like. So as you saw there, when you step on the brakes, the outer two turn on with the center brake light. And that's basically what it is. So it was a pretty easy swap. All you do is you swap these two center ones, and then you buy one more set of 7440 bulbs. I will have those linked in the description below. But I just went to Advanced Auto Parts and I just bought some OEM replacements, couple bucks. Again, that's 7440 bulb number. The 7443 is the other ones, and that's what's in these center ones. So 7443 is the center, and the two outers are 7440. So that basically wraps up the JDM taillight mod explanation. And now, since our car is all warmed up and everything, we will go on a little cruise. Tunes from Mikey. Once they're completed, dude, they are dialed in. Dialed in. Wow. That was fun. And as you can see with those short gears, you can really blast them out, and it just, I mean, it feels good to row through the gears. So this is our little roundabout we'll flip around and head back to the house and go from there. Everything's just working how it should. I mean, it's a brand new car, and we are really bringing this 2005 STI back to life and just resetting the clock back to zero. Can't be a solid EJ that's correctly put together, tuned correctly from a reputable tuner. I mean, really can't be how an EJ feels and sounds. Like power delivery, honestly, it feels way better than the VB, even though the VB makes about 150 more wheels. It does feel faster, but yeah, I mean, the power delivery on this, it just